It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and let's talk Eyre Peninsula Netball. Joining me on the line, a lady who is frantically running around organising things as round one of her competition gets underway this weekend. The Pres of Port Lincoln Netball is Jo Franklin. How are you?
I'm doing really well, Jason. Yes, chasing our butt. Round and round. But we will get there. We will get there. I'm just glad that we didn't start the same time as all these others, because we might not have got there, but no, it's all coming together quite nicely now.
Oh, well, that's good. Yes, a couple of these comps are underway, and they've had a bit of a stop-start to the season, given where Anzac Day and the Easter breaks all fell. But round two of matches it was in Great Flinders Netball last weekend. That's where we're going to start. And Tumby Bay had a 12-goal win over a much-improved Eyre United side, but still not quite there just yet, the Saints girls. But good result for Tumby. Yeah,
it was a good result for Tumby, because I know they were a little bit concerned, because, Eyre United was certainly an unknown quantity with the players that they've picked up from down Lincoln Way. So they were just a little, Stacey Curtis is coaching there, and was just a little bit concerned about what they would, what Eyre United would put up. But in the end, Tumby Bay were able to counteract at any rate. And yet again, Augusta just goes out and does her job and does it amazingly. Lots of backup for young Sarah Laurie and Maisie Curtis. Just to be able to, those kids have the experience of playing with somebody like Ilka. It's just amazing for them. But and they were strong through the centre court. Look, Eyre United, young Taylor Milligan really stood up on Saturday. In fact, she stood up that she received the Anzac medal for that game, and she's only a young girl and just out of school, really did a great job. So they were pretty impressed with her, which is good. The Auntie Little, as usual, she had a really good game for them, and all in all, their coach Brooke Pugsley is quite happy with the way they're coming together, because obviously with COVID they have had, as everybody has, quite an interrupted pre-season and have not found it easy to get everybody together. But, she was happy with the young ones. Marty Masson, again, is standing up. Like I said, young Taylor Milligan won the medal. So certainly plenty to work with there. And Eyre United is certainly going to be quite competitive this year, and sides won't want to take them too lightly.
Absolutely, yeah. So we move on to the other two games. Cummins Kapini Cougars travelled to Karku to take on United Yolanda, and they effectively did. They doubled their score.
Yeah, they did. Just didn't get any easier for United Yolanda, only scoring 27 goals. A couple of young girls in goals there for them. Look, they work really hard. There's no question about that. Abby Cash and Fellowship was Elsie Madden. But they're always going to give you 100%. But when you're coming up against a Cougars side that is hardly unchanged from last year's premiership side, you're always going to be pushing it uphill. Honestly, the Cougars goal is Ella Wedd, Hannah Green, which is so accurate. And Ella obviously played, as she usually does, a really consistent, hard-fought game, and she ended up winning the Anzac medal there. And all in all, Cougars just too strong. Their centre court, Jet Green, Morgan McDonald, way too much experience for the United Yolanda girls, and I'm sure that United Yolanda girls will continue to work on it and continue to improve. But they're going to find it tough this season against the likes of Cougars and Tumby, I think.
Yep. And the last match of the round was Ramblers hosting Lock, and Lock almost doubled Ramblers' score here. It was 50-27 in the previous game, Cougars over United Yolanda, and this one, Lock 70, if you don't mind, put on a big score against Ramblers 36.
Yeah, they did. It was very one-sided. However, having said that, young Kira Simons is coaching the Ramblers girls, and she said, they're very young and quite inexperienced. She has, again, like every other club, not had a lot of pre-season time with them, so it was really the first time that this group had got together. The oldest player for Ramblers this year is 30, and the youngest, it's actually under 30, and the youngest is young Asher Ward at 15, who played in her first A-grade game. In goals, They've got young Sally Cabot, who is only going to get better from the experience. And look, they're working really hard, and they're looking forward to. Kira's looking forward to watching how they grow and how they develop. And she gave her incentive award to Matilda Creddy, who played in defence for them. But what a win for Lisa Burrows in her first game as coach for Lock, and to shoot 70 goals was amazing. And it was a really big boost for their confidence. They were lucky enough, they had a couple missing. They were lucky enough to be able to use Rani Tomney again from Central Air United, because they had the bye in Eastern Air, so that certainly did help. And her and Lisa Burrows, let alone the height, their skill level and their accuracy, they just gelled really, really well together. And so poor old Ramblers were really pushing it uphill down that end. But they hung in there. The mid-court for Block also were really good. Millie Morton and Sarah Harrell, plenty of experience there through there. And they were really pleased with Lily Tiller, who played her first A-grade game and did a great job. She had plenty of hands over ball pressure, and they're really looking forward to watching her develop. So all in all, Block, just too strong, and Ramblers will look forward to developing throughout the season.
They will. We'll come back to who's playing who in that competition in a tick, but let's move to Eastern Air now and have a look at the matches that were played over that Anzac weekend. Two of them, of course, round one in their comp. And we will start with the Saturday game, which was Ports hosting Kimber at Port Neale. And the away side, far too good here. Kimber 48 over Ports 20.
Yeah, they were. Look, the Ports, again, I know I'm keeping on repeating this, but it just is the way it is. No pre-season as such. Just did not have a chance to. Chloe Wake's the coach for Ports. Did not have a chance to get her team together until Saturday. Look, they've only got 3 girls from last year's team, so amongst the disrupted pre-season, it's been pretty tough gig for poor old Chloe. But they had young Lauren Millard, who came up for her first game of A grade. Unfortunately for Lauren, she had to stand Shiley Harris, who is just so experienced and such an awesome player. She, in fact, won the Anzac medal. Shiley did, so that was how well she played for the day. So it was a real eye-opener for young Lauren, but she hung in there and did a good job. And Chloe was also, she got a whole new defence line, really. Sally Leonard, who is the young girl we talked about last week, who's come over from Adelaide, who's actually a footballer, played a little bit for West Adelaide. Her and Beck Harkness and Tish Masters were in the defence line, worked pretty well together. Chloe's really looking forward to seeing how they're going to develop as a defensive unit. But when you're up against the experience of Kimber, it's just always going to be a tough day at the office at that end of the court as well. All in all, Kimber too good for the day, and are probably looking at, again, being one of the teams to beat in that competition, I would think.
Yes, they will be. And Eastern Rangers will be one of the other teams to beat in this competition, I think. They were absolutely far too good for Cow on Anzac Day. Yeah,
they were. Look, unfortunately for Cow, 81-27 is just not the sort of scoreline you want to come out in your first game with. But, look, when you're coming up against a Nick Symes and a Lauren Symes, like the height of that alone, when you're trying to put together a whole new look A-grade side, and you're a new coach, young Tegan's a new coach. She doesn't even know half of the teams in Eastern Air, let alone players. She's given it a really good crack, though. They've got 3 new juniors that they are blooding in the Cowra grade, young Sophie Flavel and Mickey Harding and Tatum Goodyear, who all really gave it their best. Sophie had a little bit of a fall and a little bit unease, I guess would be the word, but came back on and went on with the game. So it just shows that she's got what it's going to take to be a regular A-grade player. They had 3 mums who were coming back who haven't played for a couple, or at least 2 seasons for a couple of them. And they were also missing Kyla Franklin's experience through the centre. But one of their bright lights, they thought, was that the young Camille, she's just come back from had a baby, and she's just new to Cow, came in as a goal attack and gave a really good showing there and got their best player for the day. But all in all, Lauren Symes, as she does, played an amazing game and came away with the Anzac medal in that game.
Excellent. Well done to Lauren. She's a star. And they're going to be a very, very good side. Again, Eastern Rangers.
They are. Yeah, they are. They are.
All right, let's have a look at this round of matches, and we will retreat back to Great Flinders for a moment. Let's have a look at who's playing who here. Round 3, and there are 3 teams that will have the byes. So only the 2 fixtures, but Lock, Tumby Bay and United Yolanda get the week off.
Yeah, and I look, without being, I think United Yolanda might look forward to that so that they can actually try and get some training time and get some time to work together and build towards their next match. Tumby Bay, Ilka's probably looking for a little rest. I reckon it's their wedding anniversary, so I reckon that she'd be looking forward to having the weekend off. And Lock, what a shame after you've had the performance that you just had to not be able to back it up the very next week, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. 2 big games, though, in the Great Flinders competition this weekend. We will start with Eyre United, who will host Ramblers. Now, the Saints would have been pretty happy with their game last week, even though they went down. Ramblers, not so much. This will be an interesting game just to see exactly where Eyre United and Ramblers both sit in the grand scheme of things.
Yes, it will be. It really will be. And, I think it's both matches are going to be fantastic games this week in Great Flinders. But, look, Eyre United have brought in some real talent, some speed. The Flavel girls are, very quick, very skillful. Auntie Little is so deceptive in defence. She reads the ball so well that they've just got to gel it together with the young ones in Marty Masson and Taylor Milligan, and they will really be putting something together, something special together, I think, and it'll be great to see just how that goes later on in the season when they have been playing together for a little while. But so it doesn't get any easier for the Ramblers girls, really. This week they've had to make a couple of changes again, but they've got Layla Dowdle and Kelly Symes in goals. They've got Abby Bates and Caitlin Haasma in defence, and then Georgia Nursey's a new school teacher at Cummins. She'll get a run through the midcourt with Ava Pedler, who's still around with school holidays, and another new one, Caitlin Benny, who's come from Clare, who will have a run through the midcourt and maybe even in the goals. So it'll be very interesting, some very interesting matchups. Certainly Eyre United through the centre court will have the experience and their defence end too. Their goalers are a little bit younger, so, it might be a chance for Ramblers with their defensive end to get on top of that. But I'm going to be really interested to see just how far United can go. Shanice Wells is just another amazing player when she's on song. She is amazing, and I'm just really interested to see how Brooke is going to put that side together and how far they can go. Ramblers, they'll keep going. Don't you worry about that. Don't ever count them out. But I think it'll take them a couple of rounds to actually work their way into the A grade comp.
Absolutely. All right. One other match, of course, in this round, and that is the match of the round. This will be a beauty at Cummins. Cougars taking on Elliston Districts, who are playing their first game in a few weeks. The Rooster Crew, they will be up and about.
They will be, and what a cracker of a game this is going to be. I really do think that this is going to be a battle of the goalie accuracy, because for Elliston, you've got Zali Ramsey and Courtney Hull, who we know when they're on song, not only do they move the ball so well in the goal circle, they also can be extremely accurate. On the other hand, I have also seen both of them have off days. And then at the other end, you've got Ella Wedd and Hannah Green. Amazing accuracy last week, and they just know where each other are. They work so well in the circle together. Their rotations are great, and their accuracy is really good. So I think it's going to be a battle of, the goalie accuracy. But, then you look at the fact that Ella and Hannah are going to be up against a very formidable defence unit in Nikki Schubert and Kelsey Hull. They are fantastic. And then you've got the pressure through the centre court that they're going to put over Jet Green and Morgan McDonald with Lorena Haberman, Leah Forrest and Zoe Phelps in that whole defensive unit. It is going to be a cracker. It is going to be on for young and old.
Yep, I tend to agree. Who wins?
Oh, do you know what? I was thinking before we began talking, I was actually thinking that Elliston have probably got a chance of winning this game. And then I'm thinking, you look back over the Cougars side and there's so much experience there and so much skill that I'm thinking they may just get over the line. Elliston are coming off of a bye. as well. They haven't had the match practice that Cougars have had, and I think that might be the telling factor in the end.
All right. Let's move to Eastern Eyre Netball. We're into round 2 of their competition, and it's the first chance for the Central Eyre United Storm crew to hit the courts. They're heading down to Port Neale for a road trip, and they will take on the home side down there in Ports, of course, who struggled a little bit last week against Kimber. Central Eyre United will probably start favourites here.
I would think that they would start favourites for sure. Look, what a road trip, your first game. But they had the bye last week, so they didn't have to travel anywhere. So I guess that evens it out. But Central Eyre, a new coach, Zika Clancy, is coaching them this year, and she's really looking forward to that. As with everybody else, disrupted pre-season, so she actually has not had the full team at training yet. So she's sort of hoping that doesn't hold it against them. They've got a couple of newbies and a couple of quite handy pickups too. Emily Miller has come to them, and Alice Little is taken up playing again this season. So that's a couple of handy ins for them. And they're also bringing in young Ella Lloyd-Stokes, who's a young, she's under 17, so she's just out of juniors, and she's got a fair bit of talent. Whack those in amongst Keeley and Abby Bruce, who either of them can play either end of the court, and Zega's put together quite a handy little team there. But on the same token, Ports, if Chloe can get the new ones mixing in with the older, the ones that have been around for a while, she's got a pretty handy little unit there too. Unfortunately, they're going to be missing Tish Masters this week, and missing her experience in defence will be a bit of a hole. But they were lucky enough that Helene Blischke is going to be able to play for them now. Helene's played a few games for them on and off. So much. She's got a lot of skill and a lot of netball brain, and will actually really work well with those Ports girls and really help bring them together. So it might be closer than what we think, but I actually think that in the end, essentially, they've got a fair bit of height amongst that side as well now. So I think they probably will certainly be the favourites, and will probably run out with a win.
All right. And the last match of the round there in Eastern Eyre Netball, Kimber Districts will host Cow. Cow will head up the highway for that one. And on the back of last week's game, you'd think obviously Kimber Districts start raging favourites here to beat Cow. So you'd expect that's the way that one's going to go.
Yeah, don't get any easier for Cow, does it, Chase? No. And they're still going to be missing Kyla Franklin, who's probably their player. She's still an ISO, their player with the most experience. So the young ones are really going to have to step up and take it all before them. And if only Whip would give me some info, I would know what Kimber are doing. So let's give her a rev up and tell her to get some info to me each week would be good. But look, obviously from last week's score, Shiley Harris is obviously there in defence and playing really well again. So I just think that the Cow side will, Kimber have got the depth that Cow just don't have. They've lost a couple of players over both their A and their B grade, I believe, at Kimber, but they had the depth to be able to replace it. Cow just don't have that, although they've been able to bring in a few new players. But, yeah, I think the experience and the skill level of Kimber will be just too good for Cow this week.
All right. Well, that's where we will leave it. Eyre Peninsula Netball getting underway, and of course down in Port Lincoln. They will get underway this weekend, which might just change a few teams further up the peninsula. Yes, it will. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it. The rematch, the grand final rematch between Waybacks and Wanilla should be a rip snorter. Wanilla have got a couple of different players in their side, and so have Waybacks. Waybacks have lost a few and have had to replace. So that will be quite an interesting, and that will be obviously just the replay of the grand final. So that will be the Anzac Day medal match, and we've organised a opening ceremony and all those sorts of things. And the other game, Imperials, will be playing Boston. That'll be a really interesting game because both sides are very, very new looks. So I'm going to be very interested to see what will come out of that game because, both sides looking very fresh. Okay, excellent. Well, we'll catch up with you next week, Joe. Good luck for the start of the season this weekend, and we'll catch you then.
We certainly will, Jace. Thanks. You have a great weekend.